welcome everybody to the Coach's Corner with the fabulous, absent, lovely Coach Hadassah, who will be returning with us in just a moment, and myself, Coach Cotton. Thank you all for joining us tonight. You guys know what we need to do. Tag a friend, tell a friend. Look, if you are not on the YouTube, let's get there. Let's get to the YouTube channel. Girl, I'm like, all I see is you scurrying. I'm like, you're going the wrong way. Like, that's not the way to the camera. It was 30 seconds. It was not 30 minutes. I'm like, what's happening? I'm like, what? Okay, well, let's just roll through this. Let's get this out the way, y'all. But I'm laughing like, she's going down. And then I don't know who that is to the side. Who was that, Nakia? Who was that? He was like, I was like, right. Me and you got the same look. She's not going the right way. Like, he looked back and I looked back like, yeah, real talk. Where's she going? It's 30 seconds. Like, and then we could tell you trying to scoop fast. And I'm like, you're not even going fast. You're not even moving fast. Like, what are you doing? You didn't even have the time. You did not have the time to even get this done. Y'all, welcome to the Coach's Corner, y'all. And there goes Coach Hadassah. She back. Y'all, I don't know what today gonna be like. We talking about not because
look, I did not quit. I did not give up.
Facts. You made that run to do whatever you had to do. You made it happen. You made it. You right. That's how we're gonna start the show off. You did not quit on whatever you were going to do.
I didn't quit.
I can't even begin to. I can't give this my energy right now. I can't give it. Cannot. I'm just not. I'm just gonna let it be. Let it be.
Oh, my eyes. Oh, my eyes are leaking.
I was so shocked. I was like, did she really? Okay.
Okay, so what had happened? Look, see what had happened was.
Okay. All right, y'all. Let's see what had happened.
Okay, so you see, I have on my beautiful, extreme hoodie that is white.
Right.
And prior to, I was eating a burger.
Right.
And when I was taking that last bite before the 30 seconds was up, the ketchup just went in my hand.
Oh my Lord.
So I had to hurry up and go to the bathroom so I could wash my hands off.
I cannot. I just can't. I just cannot do it.
And I was really trying to hurry up, but I did not quit. I did not quit.
You did. That was a true fact. Like 100%.
Oh,
you went through it. You muscled through. You didn't quit.
Oh, my eyes. Okay.
And I commend you for that. Like 100%. I was just so lost as to what was happening.
Look, I am so glad that this is our show. Right?
100%. 100%.
And and we allow for certain things.
We do. We do. We kind of laid back here. It's a laid back environment.
We laid back, it's not a stuff shirt kind of show. So.
Right.
But we do get down to business and we get serious, a lot of times.
We do.
The thing is, life is real and life happens and stuff, and and we laugh and we cry, and sometimes we cry laughing.
And Annie is cracking up in the comments. I know, Annie, right? I'm so glad that you bear witness to what I went through, Annie. I'm so glad that another member felt what I was going through in that moment. Like really? Why is it your back? That's what I was thinking. Why is it that little hoodie? No. Oh, try to eat a hamburger, but I feel you. I'm so glad you're eating. I ain't even finna get on to you. I'm glad that you're eating. That burger was looking good too.
Yeah, it was, but
Oh
must
Lord.
have clean hands on the show, not ketchup, and then get the ketchup on my nice white extreme hoodie.
You cannot because they will be the devil to
No,
get
then
out.
I'd have to buy a whole, a new one.
Oh,
Although there's nothing wrong with getting a new one, but I just don't want a ketchup stain on it. So yeah.
right, facts.
All right, so moving right along. Hey everybody. We thank Coach Cotton for holding it down while I was taking care of, of those things. And
All day.
yes, and today we are talking about, not quitting, not giving up. It is the last quarter of the year. We're starting off, right? And wait, is it the last quarter? Is this the second quarter? Which
No,
quarter?
this is last quarter. This is it. Last
This the
quarter.
last quarter?
We
Yeah.
are approaching October.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what? This is why I was thinking that, because I I operate off the Hebrew calendar, and so
Mm-hmm.
according to that calendar, it's the second quarter because the beginning of the year is really April. But hey, we under this system, so that's why that's why I was like, is it the second? I mean, not the second, but the third. But yeah, okay. So
Right.
in everybody's terms, it's the last quarter, and this is not the time to give up on the last quarter. This is the quarter where we really truly, bring it on home and get it together.
Yeah.
And when you think about sports and things like that, you got the last quarter. How you going to end it? Like, how are you going to end this year? How
Right.
will you end? And really, every day, I mean, not every day, but every 90 days, there's this. Oh, where's the book? Where's the book? Oh, shoot, this in my room. There's a book that I have called the 12 week year. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go get it. But it's called the 12-week year. And
Right.
it's a really great book because it talks about getting things done in 12 weeks that you, I guess, like you would plan to get accomplished in a year. Like
Yeah.
you could do it in 12 weeks. And then that takes that thing away where it's like, oh, tomorrow, 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 tomorrow. Because then when you look up, the year is gone,
Right.
bunch of tomorrows, things that you put off to tomorrow. Where if you just go ahead and condense those goals down to 12 weeks, and really 12 weeks is really 40 days. But
Right.
wait, is it? No. 6 weeks is 40 days. So yeah, 12 weeks is 80. So yes, 90 days. 12 weeks, 90 days. But that's the quarters, right?
Right.
90 days is a quarter. Then you got another 90 days, that's a quarter. Those are seasons. Seasons
Right.
are in 90-day increments. But then think about it when you think about seasons. Spring, that's 90 days.
Yeah.
Now it's an entirely different season, right? And then it's summertime. That's 90 days. Then it's an entirely different season. And so
Right.
really, when we think about it, like whatever our goals are, it's like you could choose three things that you want to accomplish. And instead of trying to pull that out for an entire year, you can condense it into 90 days. Get it done, but don't quit, right? Don't procrastinate,
Right.
put it off, things like that. So because this is the last quarter, right? Tomorrow is officially fall, right?
Tomorrow is officially the first day of fall, according to this Mayan calendar.
Right. So According to the Gregorian calendar, it's the last quarter of the year.
Mhm.
It's officially it would be fall, and what are we gonna do?
Right.
Right? What
Right.
are we gonna do? How are we going to end the year? How are we going to end the year? So, Coach,
Yes.
let's because I know you got something. Let's talk about it.
Look, Coach. You know what? I have something, but this right here. This whole not quitting part. Now I know that we all have experience on some level, but Coach, you really can. You have some stories that you can share about quitting. But before, I so gratefully hope that you give us a couple of stories that you got that you can share with us about not giving up and not quitting. I will say that we've all experienced it at some point or another, where we've grown weary, where we've become frustrated, we become drained and exhausted, and you just want to stop. Like you just want to you want to throw in that towel and be like, I'm done. Whether it's relationships, whether it's job, career, children, family, whatever it is, you just want to be like, I'm out, like chuck the deuces and go. But you have to have something a little bit deeper that helps you to keep going. You got to have something a little bit deeper that's going to push you. And so that's what we're trying to get to. Like any average person can quit, right? They can give up. But we don't consider ourselves to be average people. We don't consider ourselves to be thinkers or the average, ordinary person that what we do what everybody else do. No, you got to have a standard for yourself. You got to rise above the adversity, the obstacles, the impediments, the hindrances. You got to be the one to say, you know what, I could, right? Because it's in your control to do what everybody else do, to give up, quit, not execute, not complete what you started. But be the extraordinary person, be the above average person, be the go-getter, be the person who optimizes and reach your potential or push past your own expectation, right? To succeed so you won't give up. But the main thing that will make you keep going is your why and your purpose. Like if your purpose don't have no weight on it, then you're gonna be the one who gives up easily. So you got to make sure that your purpose and your why matches what your expectation is, what you're trying to get done in life. That way, when you are faced with those challenges and those hard and difficult times, you may want to throw in the towel, but you don't. Because then you find out that you got some grit and some grind in you that's going to push you to the next level. And so you just can't quit. And it's not about really anybody else. Yes, we got to leave a legacy. It is up to you to leave that generational wealth. If someone has not done it in your family, or even if so, it's still your responsibility. Like our co-founder, friend, brother, Agent Dynamite Sloan says all the time, it's up to you to pay that price up front and for no discounts. So that has to be the driving force that keeps you to go, so you can leave generational wealth, so you can bring breakthrough to your family and to your legacy. But you got to make sure that your why and your purpose keeps you going. Like it supersedes whatever it is that could come to stop you. You got to have that can't stop, won't stop mentality, Coach. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, you got to keep pushing. We all want to give up, but then if you give up, then what? Coach, you was talking about it earlier today. If you go down in your family, the entire operation stops. You don't get that option. You don't get that choice to give it up. Because if you give up, guess who else has to give up? The children have to give up. The husband has to give up. The bills and everything that's running has to give up because you threw in the towel. So you got to keep going. You got to keep pushing, because there are more things that is dependent upon you to make it. And we just got to realize that, But Coach, I know you got some stories, some testimonies, because you have lived a very extensive, full life. And every time you share something, like, I would have quit. Like, y'all ain't gonna lie. I'm like, Coach, what?
I would have quit.
I would have quit. I gave up. I gave up a long time ago.
Right?
You just cannot give up. So, and I do see, I think Co-founder Agent Dynamite Sloan is with us today. Dynamite and
Dynamite.
I think he's with us
And
on Facebook.
Annie.
He's still here. And Annie, Almisha, and sometimes like Facebook won't let me see everybody. Even YouTube won't let me see everybody who's joining. But thank you guys for all your support. But I was watching. Yes, Annie is with us today. I was watching Dynamite post one of his stories today. He's been getting back into the gym, into his fitness. And I've been looking at his routine and I'm going, that's devotion. Y'all, it's dedication to get up early, to prepare yourself, to prepare your mind, to go out and do physical exercise. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was looking at the routine and I was like, yep, I would have quit. You know what I'm saying? It's just not my thing, you know, as far as that type of exercise. But he's in the gym. He's doing the weights. He's drinking the shakes and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it takes a level of mentality. It takes a level of maturity. You know, I can't eat that right now. Here she comes. You gonna have to eat that after I get done. Coach, this girl done brought a whole plate. Now I'm just saying I've been hungry since about 5 o'clock.
You already know.
Here come Kaniqua, y'all. Team Cotton coming over here with a whole plate of jambalaya. And I'm like, how I'm going to do that right now? It's not going to happen. I had to quit on the meal because I can't do that in the show. Right, Misha? Right.
Right.
So, but Dynamite's been going in. And so, again, it's a level of mentality. It's a level of maturity to say that health is wealth. You know, and for him, and like a lot of people, you too, coach, you know, you was doing your walking and stuff, and then, you know, it came to a point where you just really couldn't right at the moment invest the time and energy you want into it. But your health is important. Your health is your wealth. And you just can't quit on your health. You can't quit on the contribution to you being healthy, mind, body, soul, right? And so we just got to remember that, you know, spirit, you know what I'm saying? We got to remember that all these things got to remain healthy, and we cannot give up when things come at us, when it becomes challenging and difficult. We got to keep pressing. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep moving forward. You got to keep knocking things down that get in your way, because ultimately you want to have the best health that you can. You want to have the best knowledge that you can. You want to have the best wealth that you can. And again, there are more people looking and depending on you, and you just simply cannot stop. But go ahead, Coach. Take it over. Take it with a story. Hit us with something.
And I wanted to say something to that. Let's take health.
Yes.
Okay, first. and you know why I'm talking about this too.
Right. Facts. 100.
You know, I had a bit of a scare yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to the emergency room immediately. Well, first I called the nurses hotline, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't do like hospitals, nothing like that. I just do not. But I do know that you know, in an emergency situation, Western medicine is really good with that, right? So, hey, if something comes up and alarming or whatever, then I do what I need to do and go ahead and go. So I usually call like the nurse's hotline or something like that first to give the symptoms, so they can say, okay, well, you probably don't need to go in, you know, for this, or with this, you need to go in. So at that particular thing, it was like, you need to go to the ER.
Right.
I had this numbing in my head, and never experienced anything like that before, where like I can't feel my head. And it's so weird to explain, but with the symptoms and everything, you know, it wasn't necessarily a stroke, but it was, I forgot what they called it, but it was something in the family of stroke, right?
Right.
So I shut it down. You know, usually you'll see my name on everything. You'll see, even if I come in late, I'm gonna be there.
Right.
You're gonna see me on the trainers, on the calls, on the and all of that. But yesterday with that, Like, no, you don't see me on anything
Right.
because um, um, what I cannot do is die, right? And I'm not going to do it in the name of overworking.
Right.
That's not healthy. Um, and because I am not adverse to mental health as far as seeing a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a counselor, therapist, or whatever the case may be. I don't have that mental health stigma, and so I have a mental health professional that
Mm-hmm.
years ago that I started to see. And that was one of those things. I was, man, you talking about, I'm like, I'm gonna make it, right?
Right.
And
Right.
I pushed myself to the limit. And it was some other things that was going on or whatever. And so um it just so happened that it was just, my spirit was like, you must go. Like, you have to. And when I did, I'm glad that I did, because there's a lot of things that we do, especially in our culture, that it's a cultural norm, but it's not a healthy one.
Right.
If we're talking about getting ourselves out of certain unhealthy environments, there are some unhealthy habits that our culture has, that as soon as you don't do that, you're looking like, it's just like ostracized or whatever the case may be. But
Yeah.
it's not that something is wrong with you, it's something wrong with the culture.
Yeah.
And so, we as a culture, we do have some toxic habits that
Right.
we think is the norm that we must stop. But until everybody else catches up with that, um, I'm not the first, but I'm one of the first that will shut it down when I see my health being affected. Because first and foremost, I have somebody that is dependent on me that cannot care for herself. And I know that
Right.
if I go down, sh- I don't care what kind of help I have. There's a difference between help and support.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I don't have that support with her in that way, at least not for an extended period of time. So I'll shut down in a heartbeat, especially with something like this. It's like, it's my head. I need my brain.
Right.
Right? But then with that, you have to find ways to do things where you may rest, you may take a moment, you may even find a different way to do things, but you do not quit, right? There's a
Right.
there you can find different ways to make certain things happen, but just don't quit, right? Just don't give up. I was I was like Coach Cotton said, like I had started this thing where, I called it my 40-day walk in the spirit. And I remember
Right.
when it
I
started, I
remember.
June 3rd. And every day I took a walk, because we have these trails by my house. And it's nature and all of that in the summertime. So it felt good and everything. And for 40 days, I did that walk, right? And it took about 70 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That was the time. Like, I timed it. It was 70 minutes. And everything was cool. But then I just kept on. Because it became a habit. At that point, I wanted to go on this walk.
Right. Right.
And my body wanted to go on that walk, right? And so a good way to build up a consistent habit and routine is, first, do it for the first 22 days every single day.
Right.
Then at that point, your body will want to do it. Even if your mind, you thinking like, I don't feel like it, or I don't want to, or whatever, your body would have taken over and be like, I don't know what you're gonna do, but we
But we getting up.
right, we're going to do this. So
Mm-hmm.
your body will kick in and take over. And so, but like I said, after that, I just wanted to get up and do it. It was really a great habit.
Yeah.
But after after a while, I noticed that at that 70, like on my way back at a certain point, my hands and my feet would start swelling. Well, after I noticed that for a good week, um, I'm like, okay, I didn't quit. I just cut down the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't quit. I just cut down the time.
Right.
And then I did that, but then next thing you know, it was something else that came up. And I'm like, like, oh, I really want to walk, but now it's this. And so now I'm just doing something different, whether it's 10 minutes of yoga or
Hmm.
because, well, I mean, I live in Chicago, Windy City, where the weather change and there ain't no more walking on the streets or, through trails and stuff. So I went on and signed up for the gym again. So, you see how I'm continuing to be consistent with my exercise,
Right.
but because of certain things happen, I just modified it, right?
Right.
You just modify, you change things. Even if you have to cut back a little bit, that's fine too. But just don't quit, right? Just don't
Right.
don't because like no, you don't want it to be the death of you,
Hmm.
right? But because health is wealth. But you also, and look, and when I say health is wealth, mental and emotional health and psychological health is key.
Right.
Please remember that. Okay? Please remember that. Psychological, emotional, mental health is key. Do not, do not. Again, do not, do not, do not, do not. I cannot stress enough. Do not neglect your mental, spiritual, and emotional health.
Right.
It's going to manifest in your body as a sickness, illness, or disease.
Right.
And diseases and debilitating conditions, it don't just happen overnight. You can start doing something that your body don't like, or neglecting your emotional and psychological and mental health now, and you probably won't see the symptoms of that, or I'll say the manifestations of it, until 7 to 10 years later.
Hmm.
And then it's like all of a sudden you think like, oh, this just happened. No, it been happening for a long time. Like
Right.
who was that somebody said it yesterday, that it was, that's like compound interest. I'm like,
Hmm.
exactly. That's exactly what it is. A little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. Next thing you know, you got a whole mountain of
Right.
psychological debt, emotional debt, mental debt that now your body has to pay for, right? But you
Absolutely.
modify things, but you don't quit. So you want you want to modify those things because you don't want to die, right? But then you also don't want that goal to die. You don't want that dream to die. You don't want that
Right.
vision to die. So
Right.
you have to do the same thing with that. You have to, I mean, when things come, hey, you might have to modify, but don't quit. You may
Right.
have to back a little bit, but don't
But don't
quit.
quit.
You know what I'm saying? You just have to not quit.
Absolutely.
I don't care. It's look, let me share this. I was just I shared a post the other day. And it has to do with time and how long it takes before you really see the success. I mean, the true, substantial, long-term
Hmm.
success,
Right. Right.
right? It takes about 25 to 30 years.
Wow.
Okay? About 25 to 30 years. It's not overnight. Anything that looks or appears to have happened overnight, trust me when I say it's a test gonna come. you
Right.
know what I'm saying, to see. But It takes about that long. And I equate it to, I always take things like that as like the growth and development of a human being,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, we're not really full adults until about 29, 30 years old.
Right.
There go that 25 to 30 years again, right?
Right.
And so here it is, we can be working towards something, and then we think we supposed to get some type of, success or whatever, and I don't know, 2 days, a
It's not
week,
even. It's not realistic.
90 days even. Now you might see some results in 90 days, right? You might see results in a year. That's a good
Right.
thing, right? We need to see results every year. But here's the thing, that true long-term substantial,
Mm-hmm.
success, you talking about 30 years in.
Right.
I was I had shared, this was what I was about to say, just to, to give a testimony with that. I shared a post the other day about someone that, I've known of them. I'll put it that way. I mean, I know them, but like everybody knows them. Put
Right.
it this way. But I wasn't like in that person's circle, so to speak, of influence. It was more so, people that I knew them, and then also just knowing who that person is by what they did, and how, I um kind of I was a portion of the support as well too, because I did business with them.
Right.
So um what I was sharing about that is that when we were teenagers, right? When we were teenagers, this person cut hair. He was a barber. He cut hair in his mother's basement, right? Like in his parents' basement. He was cutting hair
Mm-hmm.
and was good at doing it, right? And so, like I said, we were all teenagers then. They was a teenager too, okay? Because we're about the same age, 2-3 years maybe difference or whatever, maybe not, I don't know, but I know we all the same age. So we were teenagers. They were cutting hair in the basement, and then and a lot of the guys, our friends, stuff like that, they would get their hair cut by him too.
Right.
And everybody started coming to him, so couldn't do it in the basement any longer. He ended up getting a spot, like at one of the, what you call them things, the little chat the spot in the strip mall or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So everybody started going there, and that was like the guys' hangout, where they went to get their hair cut there at his barbershop, but then they also just hung out there at the
Right.
barbershop. If you wanted to don't know where your man was, or your husband, or your boyfriend, or whatever, they was up there.
Okay.
Right? That was the hangout spot. And so then eventually, next thing you know, he had a school. He had a barber college. And I started taking my sons there because, again, I was a licensed cosmetologist, and I remember being in cosmetology school, and a lot of us, when at a certain point, is like by about mod 2, we were put on the floor. And what
Right.
that meant was that we did the, clients that would come in, so you didn't have to pay an exorbitant amount of money to get your hair done. So that's just, look, so a tip for people who, you want your hair done, but you don't want to pay a lot of money,
Go to the
go
school.
to go to the school. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be trying to get your hairstylist or somebody to do your hair for free 99. If you don't have the money like that, go
Right.
to the school, because it's less. Right? That's,
Me and my mom used to do it all the time, and they do. Them students do very well, but they still learning,
yeah, they still
and
right.
so
I mean, because
them
that's just,
instructors be on the floor too. So it's not like you just got a student out there, but they're learning. So they have the instructors on the floor, And look, it used to be like $10. I'm like,
Exactly. Exactly, because I'm telling you, I was one of them students, and I was good when I went there.
mm,
So when I got the technical training, that just means that I was even better, and people
right,
was getting nice hairdo and everything for student prices,
right,
because students need practice, but it's less money, right? So anyway, um I was at that point where with four boys, well, only three of them got haircuts because Ryan, always had locks. But you know, money was a little tight, so I had to take my sons to the barber
right,
barber school. So I knew to go there just because of at that point his reputation,
right,
right? I remember him being good when he was in the basement, right? And so he had a school at this point. I started taking the boys there to get their haircuts and pay the student price because that's what I could afford.
hmm,
But they still got good cuts from his students. And so then I was trying to get my other son to go, my brother, to go there, and shoot, I was trying to figure out how I could go. I already had a license, but I just wanted to get that barber training,
right,
whatever. So I ended up buying some products from him, whatever, but just that support. And then next thing you know, he started opening schools all across the Chicagoland area. And then you start seeing his billboards everywhere, right?
mm,
And now he has partnered with Walmart where he will have his I mean, not the barber college, but barbershops open inside of Walmart.
that's awesome.
Right now, how long did that take?
Mm,
We were teenagers when he started in the basement of his parents' home.
wow,
And now he's on billboards everywhere and partnered with Walmart, having his barbershop in Walmart. That has been 30 years.
wow, wow.
30 years,
That's a
right?
lifespan.
That's a lot. And I when I saw it, I shared it on my page and I commented, congratulations, all that good stuff. And I was like, you deserve a lifetime award. Because
Hmm,
and not on and but not only that, he does a program for in the prisons when they have the where they could get their degrees and everything. He has his program there in the prisons too,
wow, that's
where
awesome.
he's mentoring them and everything and teaching them how to cut hair so that when they come out they have a skill set, and then he employs them when they come out. So listen, when we talking about putting in work, giving back, all of that
Hmm,
type of stuff, that's been 30 years or a little bit over 30 years in the making. You can't give up, right?
you
It's
cannot give
not
up.
gonna
You
happen
quit.
overnight. You might see, like I said before, you might see a little bit of results in 90 days, or you might see a little bit of results in a year or whatever. But that level, that is commitment at that point.
Right,
And that's the thing. We talk about discipline and everything, and discipline is great. We need discipline in order to be committed, right?
absolutely. I believe
It's
any said
about
that.
commitment. Commitment
Yeah.
is what keeps us in the game, right? That's what keeps us going to be like, you know what? Hook or crook, no matter what happens and all of that, I'm still trudging through this. I may have to
Right,
adjust. I may have to grow through some things. I may have to cut back on something or whatever,
right,
but this I'm not letting go of. That is where you get those type of results, and you can't do that if you quit. So don't quit, right?
facts. That is the morals of the story.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
just don't quit, even when you feel like it. Don't, because
Mm-mm.
the payoff is gonna be worth it in the end. My brother used to quote this. I don't know if y'all know that my brother, who trades with the stream and everything, he used to be. I say used to be, but really, a lyricist, like a rapper, and he had got albums out and everything, CDs out and stuff back in the day. But one of his main things he used to tell me growing up as a little sister, he used to always be like, look, the struggle is greater than the reward. And at the time I used to be like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, no, the reward is greater than the struggle. Is that not what you're saying? He's like, no. He's like, because it's one thing to receive the reward, but without the journey, without the process, without the difficulties, the challenges, the struggles and all these things, you won't even appreciate the reward.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you have put your blood, your sweat, your tears, your prayers, your dedication, commitment into something, and then you see the result of that, you see the fruit of your labor, you see when it all comes together, it was only because of those struggles. It was only because of those hard times that you didn't give up on your vision. You didn't give up on your dream. I can only imagine about the gentleman you're talking about with the barbershops, what all he had to face. I'm almost 99.99% sure that he was rejected left and right, especially trying to grow his establishment and his brand to the point to where he opened up an entire school, to the point to where now he's connected with a whole chain like Walmart. And now your brand and your barbershops are in those establishments. Like, no one can tell me that he didn't face some hardship. And just think about his legacy or his family or his generations if he would have just said, you know what, I can't do this no more, or I don't want to do it anymore. And so that's what we got to get to. We got to push past the no's. We got to learn to take rejection and view it as a positive. When people say no, coach, you know how we say that just means next opportunity.
It means next opportunity.
Right. It's nothing negative about someone rejecting you. And I was having this conversation just the other day with Quaniqua, who tried to bring me their food in the middle of the coach's corner. We was talking about,
she was just trying to feed you, coach. She looked like you was hungry.
I've been hungry, y'all. I've been hungry. I'm starved over here. But I was just talking to her about, my nieces and my nephews that, we have even intentionally or unintentionally have brought them to a point to where they're not prepared for rejection. And I'm like, that's not necessarily a good thing, because when they first get that no, they torn up, they damaged, they feel like they can't go on, like the world has come to an end, and they want to just give up. They want to stop. Oh, it's not for me. I can't do this. And I'm going, this was one no. Like literally, someone told you no. And I'm like, we got to take accountability for that, because we got to prepare them for the rejection. Rejection going to come. The struggle is going to come. But then what will you do in those times? Are you going to be the quitter? Are you going to be the one that gives up? Are you going to be the one to stop your own vision and your dream simply because someone else didn't see your vision, simply because someone didn't agree with you? Like, we have to stop that. And even in our adult life, we get knocked down by rejection and we can't go on. Like, it's over. Like, no. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move on. Like, at the end of the day, all that means was that person, that situation, that opportunity was not for you. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let it make you give up on your dream. Don't let it make you give up on your vision, because your vision is here for a reason. It has a purpose. It has a plan. And there should be a level of standard and expectation on your work ethic. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be that easy for you to quit like that. And I know that I'm not only preaching to myself, because like Coach, we already said this was a Coach Hadassah and Coach Cotton lesson. Like, we had
listen, we almost had a coach's corner pop up. we was about to pop up on y'all at like 2:00.
Like, straight back, we were like, we need this more than
we were about to pop up on y'all at 2:00, because we were going over like, okay, what we do our thing where it's like, all right, what will the coach's corner be about today? We have our meeting, and we start getting in, and we was like, all Okay, we know you know we talking to ourselves, right?
Right. I got to point at me first.
Right. You know, we know we preaching to the choir, right?
Back. Like what Michael Jackson said, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I can't even coach y'all. I gotta
Right.
coach me first.
Okay. And like, oh my gosh, you listen, I have to say this because Coach Cotton said this earlier, and I was like, listen, look, don't let me drop some in your cash app. Like pass the collection plate. Coach said, she said, you know what? She was like, Coach, you right, because here it is. We'll sit up here and give these toxic relationships the 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, and then just give up on ourselves. I was about to throw my phone across the room.
Fact. That's straight fact.
We give up on ourselves and our dreams where we should have gave up like 2 weeks in, and some of these relationships. Like, you know what?
Part.
Deuces. Right?
All day long. That
Man.
part right there.
But
Man,
you know,
it's simply because that's what we do. And like, because it's so unfamiliar to us, that's why we give up. Because we don't, and you know, I know I'm not the only one. So I'm just gonna say it and be transparent. We give up on the unfamiliar because we just don't know. It's uncertain. But we'll give some abusive, something toxic that we know about 20 years, but our visions, our dreams, our goals, because we are in uncertain, uncharted territory. Oh, 3 months. It's too much. We can't do it. We giving up. We quitting. This ain't for me. God didn't tell me that.
Look, I'm losing too much money.
Right. But that's just part of the journey. That's part of the learning process.
I ain't getting nothing out of it.
Right. But then here you are. You ain't got nothing out of this relationship for what, 15 years, but you still sticking it out.
Right.
Get your dusty behind from over there and let's get with what's unfamiliar. It's something new and something fresh. And let's give it a chance. Like, can we at least see? Can we give it a year to see if it's gonna fail?
Right.
We don't even know it's gonna fail because we haven't given it enough time nor attention. We haven't invested enough. We haven't put the energy into it because we just don't know. We're so unfamiliar. It's so unfamiliar to us. So let's let go of all that other stuff and let's try this. Bet on yourself. I was telling a friend of mine just yesterday, last night, we was on the phone, and I was like, she was calling me back to back, coach, and I was talking to you, and I was like, oh my Lord. I was like, if everybody, what's happening? What's going on? Everybody's going down, right? So, you know me, my anxiety started kicking in. I was like,
oh my God. Look, I'm sitting. Ooh, look, look, you had that friend going through that, and then me. I know. Oh my gosh, the coach. I'm sorry.
Coach, I was like, sorry. I was like, what's going on? But I had to talk her back because she's like, I'm stressed. I don't know what's going on. I got too much going on. I'm like, no, you giving too much attention to the wrong thing. Yeah. That's what's got you stressed. But then she's an entrepreneur. She has her own business. I said, look, how about stop being stressed over something that don't need your attention and be stressed over something that is working for you. If I'm going to be stressing this season, bet money it's going to be something to push me forward, my business forward. I'm going to pour and invest into me. I can't be stressed about somebody else's stuff.
Yes.
No, like it just don't even make sense at this point. Like we are past the time to where we put all our energy into other things that's not being beneficial to us, is not contributing to us moving forward. And then we're neglecting our own business. We're neglecting what we could be investing into ourselves with our common unity over in Extreme Affairs Global Academy. Trading and Forex is new to us, but we can't give it 6 months. We can't give it 9 months because we're not making millions of dollars. You shouldn't be, because if you are, that means you have put in years. King Pip, Sherry, Aaron, Kiana, Virginia, they have put in years to this trade, to this skill. This is why they are seeing the results. He wasn't making 20 grand trading on 20 grand. Mr. Fab has shared all the things he has lost trying to learn.
Oh my
this
God, we gotta
skill.
get we have to get Mr. Fab
We
on.
gotta get
We
Mr. Fab
have to
on.
get
Hey
Mr.
yo, you got to come join us on the Coach's Corner. I'm
Yes.
putting it out to the public. Everybody send hey yo a message to say y'all, you gotta be on the
Right.
Coach's Corner
We
because it
we need to
just
hear that again.
absolutely that
Yes.
his testimony and story just brought so much light to vision and purpose. And it was not an overnight success. We're talking about homelessness. We're talking about division in his family. We're talking about loss of jobs, income, loss of money, trying to invest, trying to learn. And we can't deal with something for 9, 10 months because we're not getting the results that we thought, or we're not getting the results that somebody else is getting, and you don't even know what they're doing. Are you putting in the same time that they're doing? Are you putting in the same level of education and understanding that they're doing? You can't get that result if you're not doing what they're doing. It
And
won't
and
happen.
and I have to say this because there's the there's the book knowledge, right? There's the book
Right.
knowledge and the technical part of it. But then there is the psychological and emotional part,
Amen.
right?
Yes.
And
That.
even though, we do say, trade, do not trade emotionally,
Mhm.
but it's more so because you're going to do everything with emotions. Emotions is
Mhm.
energy, and
Right.
everything is energy, right? But what we mean by that is trade. When you go in trading, right? You want to trade in higher frequency emotions, right? You want to
Yes.
you want to trade in a neutral emotional space, in a
Mhm.
rational emotional space, but you have to put some emotional energy into it though,
Yes.
because you're not going to get anything out of it if you don't. Like, say for instance, as much money as I have, I'll say, accumulated through trading, and I had to have accumulated money through trading because that's what I bought my car with, right? Like
Right.
my what I get paid from the comp plan through membership is to keep me and my children's membership going.
Thanks.
Right. I mean, that's one of the things they say. We don't want you, we want you to pay your
Mhm.
membership with Extreme FX money, and we want you to trade with Extreme FX money. I do exactly that, right?
Right.
And I want my team to do the same thing too, but they have to want to do that.
Right.
you know I look, I stopped fighting with people because I'm telling the girl, I don't want to. Okay, I'm I'm just saying that's the option. I mean, that's like me personally. I'm gonna do it that way because I understand business. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You when you go into business, you don't. It's so funny because in any setting, there's always this question. Why did you get into business? People, to help people, to do such and such and so and so. Why do you go into business? Because this, because that. And they're like, no, the number one reason to go into business is to build the business, build value of the business, make a profit,
Right.
right? And sell the business.
Right.
Right? Sell the business, or you pass it down, to the
Right.
children or whatever. But then they might end up selling the business because they might not want the business.
They may not.
Right?
That's not their
They might not
vision.
want it. But those who are truly in business say that same thing over and
Mhm.
over again. I've never heard anything different, right? And so, saying that to say that you get in and you make your initial investment back,
Yes.
right? And then when you do that, the next thing you do is you aim to profit,
Right.
right? Now, that's just understanding it from a business perspective. However, if you do choose, and that's what you want to do, is be a student, then do know, just like a regular school where you would be paying tuition and all
Right.
of that. Look, you pay Netflix monthly, you pay your gas, your lights, your car, everything monthly. And
Right.
then when it comes to this, I was paying and I ain't getting nothing out of it. It's a school. You pay
Right.
tuition for school, right?
Right.
So this is something that you're learning. You pay for school.
And you
This,
got to
but this,
show up.
right, you got to show up. But here's the only the and it's the only school that I know that will allow you to make money in order for you to pay for the school.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right? I mean, it's the only one I know that does that. And so that's what I do. And like I said, I want my team to do the same thing, but many people would have to want to do that. And then
Right.
there's some that just don't. They say I'm cool with paying out of pocket and then learning or whatever, and then they start to trade and pay their membership with what they trade eventually. But if you've
Right.
never traded before, then do know that it's going to take some time, right?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
all it is. It's going to take some time, but you have to think about it. Like your average trade school is anywhere from um 6 months to about 18 months in the program.
Yeah.
Your average trade school, okay? 6 months to about 18 months. And I say 18 months because if it's 15, like 15 months or over or whatever, that's usually like you're going part-time,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because full-time you'll be done in a year or less. But
Hmm.
part-time is going to extend it. So you may be there for about, like I said, 18 months, right? Because you're learning a skill set. And then what
Right.
do? You pay for that. You pay for it. If you look, college or university, then guess what? An
You pay for that.
associate's degree, that's 2 years, that's 24 months. What have you gotten out of that? Right?
Right.
What do you get at the end of it?
You get your degree.
Right? You get a degree, but you don't have a job, you're not making money.
You're not doing anything yet.
You see what I'm saying?
You just got the credentials, the
You just
paper.
got the
It's
credentials, you
safe.
just got the paper. And so bachelor's degree, 4 years. But at the end of those 4 years, same thing. You got the paper. Now you got to go out there and find a job. And then
Yeah.
master's, 6 years. You got the paper. Now you gotta go get a job.
Mm-hmm.
PhD, 8 years. You got the paper. Now they're telling you overqualified for the job.
Right.
Right? And you done paid a whole lot of money. But
Over 200 grand sometimes or more,
yeah,
depending on what career that you were seeking or pursuing.
right. But with this, it's always this or always that, or like you were supposed to make money overnight or whatever. No, you learning. Like,
You're
what's
learning.
today? Today is the 21st. So in 3 days, I would have been in the Forex space for 1 year. Like my anniversary of being committed and dedicated to this skill set, 12 months, right? Is in 3 days. Now, and I was telling Coach Cotton this earlier. I said Extreme will have to shut down or something because I ain't going nowhere. And I don't care
Right.
how long it takes. I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
I'm not going anywhere. It's
Gotta give it.
Extreme
Gotta
will
give
shut
it all you
down
got.
before I leave. Now, when I got into the Forex space, it was another company, and that company closed its doors. I didn't leave it; it left us,
Right.
right? And so, we I stayed where I was trained the best, right? That's where I stayed with. I stuck and stayed where I was trained the best because I prayed for my tribe. And when I
Right.
found my tribe, I stayed with my tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we rolled into our own school, our own academy, January, right? So that means from January to now, that's 9 months been here. But the 3 months prior, it was in that other company that closed its doors. So that's last time I knew 9 plus 3 was 12. So that's 12 months. And
All
I
that.
and I can say that, I'm moving into another level of this skill set. And
Right.
so it's not something that you're just going to do or learn. Oh my God, I didn't even know this long. It's time to time to
Get
go
on
to
Jacob.
right to Jacob's call. But
Y'all know we gotta get to Jacob. Jacob be like, I ain't
right,
starting till I see you.
right. And so look, I'm
I
finna
love
log
me
in
some
on my
Jacob
phone
though.
right
Lord
now.
have mercy.
And so I'm saying all that to say that, 1 year, come on now. I said it before and I'll say it again. I think of everything in terms of a developing human being because that is the highest form of intelligence on earth,
Right, right,
the human being, because we have the potential to keep growing, to keep developing, to keep renewing and transforming and everything throughout our entire life cycle.
yeah,
And think of 21 years. Think of a 21-year-old, right? 21 years, but they still wet behind the ears. Their
mm-hmm.
brain isn't even fully developed yet because
Right,
your brain, the emotional center of your brain, doesn't really truly fully develop until about between 25 and 29 years old, if it's not hindered or stunted or
right,
anything like that. And this and some of this education actually stunt your growth, your developmental growth, mentally and emotionally. That's the reason why we do have adults, these people in overgrown bodies that still act like children, because the mental, emotional, and psychological growth was stunted somewhere.
right. True
Right.
story.
And so you have to get past that. But again, how what type of time are you going to give yourself, right?
Oh,
In
yes.
this space. If you think you about to have it all in a year or a couple of months or whatever, you are sadly mistaken. We're going to give you the reality of this thing, and you might need to find something else to do. Like I'm serious. But that's anything. That's
Right,
anything. You're not going to just, it's not just going to happen overnight. You have to commit. And anytime you find yourself, stuck or stagnant, whatever, don't quit, just
right.
modify and do something different. That's all. And that's all I have to say. I'm done.
Well, honey, you done ended it because that's all that needs to be done.
Oh,
I agree with that message. And this has been the Coach's Corner with the lovely, fabulous, great Coach Hadassah, myself, Coach Cotton. Look, we are here on the Coach's Corner every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the coaches are here to help you get to your next level. So now, if you part of the Extreme family, let's go over to Jacob's training called Next Level. He's one of our co-founders and VP of sales. Let's get there. Coach, have a great day. You all go out. Y'all be great.
yes, peace. See you next Tuesday.
So anyway,